5-Round MMA.
A different view to MMA.
Gotta watch that 5-Round MMA, y'all.
Welcome, everyone. This is 5-Round MMA. My name is Alex Ramirez, alongside my co-host, Albert Cita. And on the phone, we have from... Where you at now, Guillermo? On a road trip? Guillermo Cita?
No. I'm at home.
Yeah.
In Davenport/Orlando area. Ooh, yeah. Nice and sunny, baby.
So where's Sarasota, Florida? That's the home place of Macho Man Randy Savage. Is that far from you?
No, it's not that far. Sarasota is actually about the same distance to Tampa, so about an hour away.
Oh, wow. We got to go there one time.
Just south of Tampa.
Visit the homeland of the great Macho Man Randy Savage. Albert, what do you think?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Sarasota, Florida. Skip Orlando.
Show my respect.
For real.
I was going to say, maybe I should look up if there's anything like a memorial for him, because I'm here in Florida. He's my favorite wrestler of all time. Maybe I should make the trip.
Sarasota, Florida.
You should, dude.
Put it on the map. Macho Man Randy
I'll look
Savage.
that up.
So this week we got a lot to talk about.
I'll fit you guys in.
There we go. I'll definitely take a trip for that one. That one, and I think Calgary, Alberta, for the Hitman fans out there. This week, switching back to MMA, we're always a little bit of professional wrestling here on this show. We got a lot to talk about, mostly just rumors and fight announcements. Kind of will take charge this show. As the UFC is almost like on a 3-week break. They're not going to have a fight until April 7th, which is UFC 223. Maybe they're trying to build up the anticipation for the lightweight title.
They're just trying to piggyback off of WrestleMania.
Is that what
Everybody knows. Everybody in the entertainment business is piggyback riding on the WrestleMania train.
WrestleMania week. So we got a lot to talk about this week. Started with round number 1. Now let's get started. So it was reported this week by the LA Times that the proposed or the rumored super fight between TJ Dillashaw and Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson for the UFC flyweight champion has been scrapped. It's not going to happen. And a quote from UFC President Dana White, he said, "Quote: This is from the report. Not happening. It was never made. Plus, DJ is hurt and out for a while." That's DJ and Demetrius Johnson. Johnson actually has a rotator cuff surgery, and he said he's actually hopeful for the Dillashaw fight to happen sometime in January, more particularly July 7th. Sorry, for the International Fight Week at UFC 226. But Dana White saying no, it's not going to happen anymore at all. So. Can Dana White maybe not? Is he not getting DJ any favors at all? Like, hey, we'll wait for you, or what's up with this? If it's not going to happen in that time, I mean, if DJ says he can come in July, why can't this fight happen in July?
It's real easy. Dana White's butthurt, and everybody knows when Dana White gets butthurt, he stays butthurt. He has shown in the past that there's some fights he's willing to wait on. But when the fighter or whatever, pretty much says no to him the first time, he's like every hot chick out there and starts getting butthurt and doesn't want to acknowledge anymore.
Yeah, Guillermo said, I guess Dana White also told the LA Times that he's working on a 135 championship bout between Cody Garbrandt and TJ Dillashaw. So, I mean, is he just completely ignoring the wants of both TJ and DJ? They both said they want this fight, but Dana White said, you know what, screw you guys both. I mean, I really don't like both of you guys, so you know what, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to put you up against fights who I want to see.
Well, I mean, first of all, it's been pretty quiet in terms of I didn't even know DJ was hurt, to be honest with you guys, and I was wondering why he hasn't been booked or anything like that, but now it makes a little bit more sense. Again, I don't know if there's a personal vendetta against these two guys, but if you guys look at it in the past, when Dana White tried to book this fight on short notice, DJ originally declined it, if you guys remember correctly.
Yeah, Mighty Mouse did, yeah.
And DJ Dillashaw, I'll step in there, I'll drop the weight, whatever the case may be, and DJ is the one that refused it. I think it's not necessarily towards TJ Dillashaw. I think it's more towards Mighty Mouse. And I was watching, and I was actually looking at a lot of the Instagram posts, and I saw that they were posting a lot of Cody No Love versus TJ Dillashaw highlights from the first fight. And I'm like, man, I'm 100% certain now they're probably pushing for the rematch. Right now, and when I watch the fight, I mean, it's still raw to me, like the hatred towards one another. So I think that in itself, I think will sell a lot more, even though you have a champion versus champion. That might sell. It's just the rivalry here versus Cody No Love is real, so I wouldn't mind watching the rematch of that.
Yeah, I think from what I saw reports too that Dillashaw's coach Dwayne Lugwood said they would actually prefer a fight with Dominic Cruz, who might be more deserving of a title shot than Cody Garbrandt, who got knocked out by TJ to recapture the title. So I think it's interesting. Like I mean, Mighty Mouse is saying he's just give me till July. I'll fight this guy. But yet, Dana White's saying no, it's not gonna happen. We're gonna skip. We're gonna move on to another. I mean, is he kind of hoping that maybe the Benavidez versus Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis fight is gonna maybe have a contender there? But if Benavidez wins, and he's already fought Mighty Mouse like 3 times and got knocked out 3 times already.
If anything, the only savior I see at the 125 division is Edgar Till.
Yeah.
That's literally the only fight out there.
But he lost somebody.
He already lost some, but you got, I mean, if he has to at least run it back, especially now that he has a new style, a new stand-up, a new look, that I think can probably give DJ a run for his money. But honestly, I think that's the only savior. That's the only fight at 125. And once you get that done, I don't know how you not do the super fight.
Or I disagree. There's a sexy name out there. And
there is no sexy names out there.
Sergio Pettis is a sexy name out there. I mean, like, this guy can main event a card just based on his name alone. Not necessarily
Dude, Anthony Pettis isn't even a sexy name no more. How you gonna say that, Guillermo? Anthony Pettis isn't even a sexy name no more. You gonna tell me his little brother Sergio Pettis is?
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at Anthony Pettis at his height, he was the Wheaties box man, dude. That it takes a lot of recognition to land that. So here's the little brother, of course, and he has a good run going. So why not? I mean, like I just think it's a different matchup for Mighty Mouse over Henry Cejudo that he destroyed. So what's the point running that back?
True. I mean, it kind of feels like Dana White's just kind of stuffing it to Mighty Mouse.
Yeah,
here.
he's just butthurt.
Whatever. So that's it for round number 1. We're going to come back and talk about Wonderboy versus Darren Till knocking out Cowboy Cerrone, get you main event spots now in the UFC, so don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 2. It has been announced that the UFC's upcoming live event in Liverpool will be headlined by a welterweight bout that could have championship implications between Wonderboy Thompson and Darren Till. Darren Till is 16-0, and then Wonderboy is 14-2. I think Darren Till's biggest win is when he knocked out Donald Cerrone. Obviously, the Englishman, 25 years old. This is probably why he's in the limelight here. But Guillermo, is this more of to showcase Darren Till or to get Wonderboy that highlight spot again? To remind people how good he is.
Well, I think it's a combination of both things. I mean, Darren Till's coming off an explosive or an impressive win over Donald Cerrone. So, one, I mean, you got to strike while the iron's hot. And Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, I mean, his only losses are championship losses. So I think, to be honest with you guys, this might be a number 1 contendership if Tyron Woodley. Who is he facing anyway?
Tyron Woodley's out. Yeah, no, he's still out. He's still out.
So if Stephen Wonderboy Thompson wins, it really doesn't do him any good because as long as Tyron Woodley's a champ, nobody's gonna rebook that one. But with Darren Till, if he wins, now you have another legible contender. That can face Tyron Woodley if that matchup or if they ever announce when he's going to fight next, but set up at least the next couple of fights, at least notable names in face.
So, Albert, it's very well known that Michael Bisping's on his way out in terms of being at the top of the game in the UFC. Is this the UFC's trying to get another Englishman out there? And Darren Till?
Yeah, I think this has a lot more to do with Darren Till than anybody else. I think they see potential in Darren Till, and the way you legitimize him against to fight for the belt is against someone that I believe already beat the champion in Wonderboy Thompson. Wonderboy Thompson isn't the youngest cat, 35 years old.
Yeah.
So I think they're trying to put all their chips in Darren Till. But at the same time, I think they're not even going to be mad if Wonderboy wins. But it's a clear grab that they're trying to make another British star, I think, now that Michael Bisping's on his way out. And Darren Till just be probably one of the most fan-favorite fighters. And I think there's plenty of matchups out there for him to do other than if he doesn't get the championship belt.
So do you think now, I mean, obviously I think Darren Till, he still has his high upside, but hopefully they don't do the Michael Bisping career route and just kind of feed him a bunch of tomato cans. So as long as he gets main event.
What?
I want to say tomato cans, but he's going to get the Robbie Lawlers and the George Masvidals.
Just the main event of the England cards, right? Yeah. And then, the career route that Michael Bisping had. Guillermo, if Wonderboy loses here, is he pretty much done? 35 years old. I mean, kind of gatekeeper status for him?
No, I wouldn't say he's done. But, again, it sucks. especially because we talked about Jose Aldo last week. I think it's a kind of similar fate. You lose 2 championship matches back to back, so now you have a 2-fight losing streak, and then all of a sudden you get this up and comer, which Jose Aldo similar to that effect. You know, Max Holloway, and then you face someone up and coming or trying to contend, and you lose that one, and everybody just starts questioning you. But when you're fighting for the belt, I mean, that's kind of messed up. Now, if you're losing against the bottom 10, that's different. But I mean, like, if you're facing the top guys, at least top 3 guys back to back to back, I mean, why should that put you back into the gatekeeper? Maybe these one or 2 guys have your number.
True. I mean, what more can you go here? This obviously, the welterweight division is kind of an influx right now. We're actually going to talk about the next round. Guillermo, you kind of jumped ahead a little bit about what's going to happen with the title picture here, because there's a rumored interim title bout coming up next. But I think, too, this is a big opportunity for Wonder Boy to kind of maybe stifle or slow down the hype train of one of the UFC's hopeful new stars, and also get I just beat a guy 10 years younger than me who knocked out one of the most popular fighters in the division. Hey, I'm still out here. To ignore what Tyron Woodley has to say on Twitter about me not deserving a title shot, and I can be an exciting fighter. And I think we all know too that Wonderboy Thompson, he is matchup, right? You have to match him up with a guy who's going to come in, right?
bring the fight.
And Darren Till, obviously, he brings a fight. So hopefully, if anything, we get an exciting fight out of this, and maybe a fight of the night potential if it's a TKO for either way, or if we get 5 rounds of a war. I'll
tell you this one thing though, if Darren Till's one of the guys that likes to engage and fight.
Yeah.
If we see another Boar Fest, it could be a Machito all over again. That you have this guy that's really talented, but nobody wants to face him because it's like trying to face someone very strategic or it's more of a chess match, more than a slugfest.
Yeah.
And usually for the normal fans, that's kind of a snore fest.
Yeah, no, I completely understand that. So that's it for round number 2. We're going to come back and talk about the proposed interim title bout that's rumored to be happening in the welterweight division. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Time for round number 3. I'm going to read a tweet from Tyron Woodley. I want you guys to guess what it's about. SMFH. Shake my effing head. And he quoted a tweet from Ben Askren who said, why would you have a title shot when your champion is already, or why would you announce an interim title bout when your champion is almost good to go? And this is a statement from a report that, I think from BJPenn.com, saying that Rafael Dos Anjos versus
That's problem number 1, Alex.
I know, right? That Rafael Dos Anjos versus Colby Covington will fight on May 12th in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And they will fight for the interim welterweight title, which is, I think, to be UFC 224. But yet, Rafael Dos Anjos, Colby Covington, and the UFC have yet to confirm anything here. But just the fact that this rumor is going around and it's being acknowledged by current fighters. Guillermo, do you take anything? Do you have an issue with the another interim title belt? And do you like Colby Covington versus Rafael Dos Anjos for the interim belt?
I hate this matchup. 1, 2, this is some BS for Tyron Woodley, and I'll tell you why. If I'm Dana White and I'm giving power to Tyron Woodley to call his fight, and he's waiting and picking and choosing who he wants to face, that's Dana White's fault. That's not Tyron Woodley. If you give me that power to do that, I'm going to take advantage of it. But if you tell me right now you have to fight Colby Covington, this is the contract. You need to fill it out, or else you're going to vacate the belt. But best believe I'm going to sign that contract if I want to stay with the UFC. So if they were to offer, Rafael Dos Anjos or Colby Covington, which I don't think he's deserving, but if they offer that to Tyron Woodley, and Woodley, if you don't accept this fight, we're going to strip it from you, then, then if he declines, then I'm okay with this matchup. But the fact that that's not taking place and you give a guy power, it is what it is, but it's some BS.
You think, Albert, the issue here is that Tyron Woodley has repeatedly kind of said, I'll be good to go for UFC 226 International Fight Week, the biggest week of the year, instead of saying, no, whenever the UFC wants me to be ready, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
Does Dana White have the same thing happened with Dana with the Mighty Mouse earlier in the show?
I think.
No, I tell you when to fight. You don't tell me when to fight.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing, and I think Tyron Woodley doesn't have a leg to stand on. I think he's been out almost a year. If he does fight internationally, he will be out a whole year since we've seen him fight. And I get mad too because his defense. I defend the belt so many times. Dude, He fought twice last year. He fought twice the year before.
The same guys, right?
Yeah, and what annoys me, it's like he's trying to act like he's some kind of active champion or he has put in the time. You didn't put in nothing, dude. 2 fights a year is nothing. Everyone likes to talk smack about Conor McGregor. When Conor McGregor was on top of the main stage, he fought 3 times in 2016. He fought 3 times in 2015. So you can't. That's why I get so annoying. People try to talk smack and then say, "Well, Conor's not the." Conor put in the time.
Yeah.
Tyron Woodley didn't put no time. 2 fights, and that's supposed to tell me that he's a grinder. That ain't no grinder, man. That's barely defending.
But the other thing too is health. I mean, like he's.
Hello?
I mean, you can't expect him to fight hurt, and
I agree, but don't be making it seem like you have all the control because you put in so much time. Sure, okay, you're hurt, and you couldn't fight at this time, but don't make it seem like you're the one that should choose when to pick and fight. I don't think he has put himself in a position to be like that. He isn't the great. Never in a million years right now. I think where everyone ever said one of the greatest welterweight champions was Tyron Woodley.
I agree.
But it's also a disadvantage, guys, because if you think about it, and I'll give you an example. GSP and Nick Diaz were little jerks that put their names out there and like waving a carrot for you, and that's kind of what you want. And what starts happening when those fights don't fall through is like, so then I'm left. I had the potential of GSP, and I'm trying to rush back into the cage, but then it doesn't come out. Okay, I'm going to take my time. It's like also you have all these other stuff that hurt, at least mentally, and preparation for your upcoming fight.
No, to me, like I still see Tyron Woodley as this champion who is kind of people laugh at. I still go back to when GSP defeated Michael Bisping, and on the Fox Sports 1 panel, it was Chris Weidman and Tyron Woodley. And Woodley, with a serious face, says, "I'm announcing I'm going up to 180 to fight GSP in a super fight." And then Chris Weidman, who's a lot bigger than Tyron Woodley, he's kind of, "Are you really? Like, serious?" Like, just almost laughed it off. And that's because, to me, the reputation that Tyron Woodley had is like people just laugh him off because he constantly, every week on TV, going out there saying he wants this super fight. I'm going to fight Nate Diaz. I'm going to fight Conor McGregor. I'm going to fight GSP. I'm going to fight this guy.
Nobody
wants to fight me.
We haven't seen you since 2016.
And
July.
The skill level's there, man. If you just bite down on your mouth guard and just fight, and that's how you earn people's respect, man. Some guys are talkers. Some guys are fighters. Tyron Woodley, man, maybe it's time to be a fighter.
He's neither right now. He hasn't fought. A lot of talking. He's not even that good.
Anyway, so that's it for round number 3. We're going to take a small break and enter the championship rounds. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors, because without them, the show would not be possible. First, with 5 Rounds, Call the Lines. 5 Rounds offers a unique collection of MMA apparel and accessories. They incorporate the culture, style, and attitude of mixed martial arts in the clothing line. They're constantly evolving and improving to become the best fightwear company possible in the MMA world. Follow them on Twitter at 5RoundsWear. It's the number 5RoundsWear. And on Instagram at 5Rounds_. Get it on. Also, too, a big shout out to Mobilitas Mobility Tools, the best mobility tools on the planet. Durable, portable, manufacturer release products designed with more grip to better restore muscle to its original health. So they got a great line of foam rollers, a mobility spear to get those knots out of your back. Also, great. Mobility peanut. It's basically, the post-workout when you got that knot in your back or in your thighs or in your calf, you want to just rub that out so you feel really good. It's great, sexy design, black and red, Mobilitas mobility tools, just great stuff. I use this stuff all the time, especially when you're working out. You want to feel better for your next workout. I thought we had the best workout possible every workout. And do us a favor, guys. Use promo code 5RoundMMA. It's the number 5RoundMMA for 20% off your order. That's promo code 5RoundMMA for 20% off your order. And a big shout out to FightBookMMA.com. Our great friends, great partners here. The number one place where you'll find real combat sports news from all over the world. A website you can trust with accurate news from all over combat sports. If it's not real news, they don't post it on the website. That's a great section for podcasts, combat sports podcasts as well. Follow them on all forms of social media, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. It's FightBookMMA.com. A big shout out to our good friends at Those Leprechauns podcast. Notre Dame, all things Notre Dame football, mixed martial arts, professional wrestling, sports, pop culture. The Those Leprechauns podcast, hosted by Leprechaun Jason and Leprechaun Nick, good friends of ours. And of course, Dioxyme. workout supplements, the best workout supplements out there. Follow them on Instagram, Twitter, and shop their great line of stuff. I think that's all of it, right, Albert?
Yep.
Losing my breath, losing my voice here. Fourth and fifth rounds coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Let's enter the championship rounds. So, current boxing heavyweight, unbeaten boxing heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua kind of surprised many when he said that he would be, quote, all ears if the Dana White and the UFC kind of called him for potential crossover to the world of mixed martial arts. On a conference call, Joshua said, quote, if it's good business and it makes sense, we'll listen, and 100% if it makes sense, we're all ears, man. So I'm happy that Dana is coming into the game. Hopefully he can add some excitement and we can progress forward and make some good money and make some good fights. There's also this rumor that the UFC is going to enter into the boxing world with Dana White, heading the helm of the promotions. So, I mean, Albert, you're the in-house boxing expert. I use that in air quotes very lightly.
Very lightly.
Anthony Joshua, if he wanted to cross over to MMA or if he wanted to continue boxing but on American soil under the UFC banner, how do you think it's a good move promotion-wise? I mean, is Anthony Joshua, is he known other than to hardcore fight fans? Does a casual fan know who Anthony Joshua is?
I think people have heard his name, Anthony Joshua, but the problem is he's a UK fighter. Most of these UK fighters fight overseas, so you can only watch him pretty much when he fights in England, and I guess a lot of people don't really dig that. But do I think it's crazy? Heck no. I think that's the craziest part. So just so people know real quick, heavyweight division in boxing isn't heavyweight division in UFC. They're technically light heavyweights in the heavyweight division in boxing. But with that said, though, he can easily make the heavyweight division. And I think because there's not that much threat in the ground game when you get to the heavyweight division, I think he would do excellent doing a crossover fight. The guy's only 28 years old and is most notably known for beating Vladimir Klitschko. He knocked the boots out of that fool. And I think it's a smart move. I think it's an easy move. I don't think the threats there like the lower divisions. The biggest thing about Floyd Mayweather is that can he handle kicks and takedowns. But I think in the heavyweight division, you don't really have to stress that. I mean, we've seen fighters that are just stand-up guys make a career out of it and has some big names. I mean, for crying out loud, we have two of the biggest guys that can't wrestle be the biggest heavyweights right now on oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't think of his name. Francis Ngannou. 1,000 apologies, Francis Ngannou. But yeah, Francis Ngannou and Derek Lewis, two guys that are obviously known.
Mark Hunt.
Yeah, you can put Mark Hunt in there. His ground game got a little bit better. But you can put these guys up there of people that their Achilles heels is wrestling. But yeah, it made not only just a career, they're the top names in the heavyweight. So I don't want to see how Anthony Joshua can easily transition to it.
Yeah, Guillermo, Anthony Joshua kind of finished off saying, I'm a boxer. Quote, I'm a boxer. I'm not into the UFC, so I don't know what their plans are. But anytime I've been asked about the UFC, it's if I would make the crossover like McGregor did with Mayweather, end quote. So do you kind of see maybe like if the big payday there is for Joshua, do you see him getting in there with or even like, I think Stipe Miocic kind of called him out a long time ago for a boxing match. So do you think he would welcome an MMA fighter into the boxing ring, or do you think he would go into the octagon first?
I just think it's dangerous whenever you bring the boxer, because I think even Albert's underestimating the power of wrestling, even at the heavyweight division.
But who?
But here's the thing, Albert, is like you have Francis Ngannou who has his power shots, and I can imagine what's his name, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua being something similar to, yes, a knockout artist, but now it's been proven that even if you're knockout artist, if you have a strong wrestler like a Stipe Miocic, Cain Velasquez, even with him being hurt, I mean it's there. The strategy is there to beat these guys. We saw what happened to James Toney versus Randy Couture. All you have to do is be.
But the Randy Coutures aren't there no more. See, if you look at the heavyweight rankings right now, Guillermo, Francis Ngannou and also Overeem are 1 and 2. Two guys clearly only known for their stand-up, not for their ground game, and everybody knows that their Achilles heel for both these fighters or the ground game. So to me, it's hard to make an argument in today's heavyweight division that someone like that can't take over. Give me a wrestling base fighter other than that's up there in the heavyweight division that can potentially ruin all these guys.
Or is this Guillermo rather than having Anthony Joshua come and fight in mixed martial arts, is this kind of the one star that the UFC wants to build their boxing promotion around? Because there's reports saying here from the Telegraph saying that the UFC is targeting to sign Joshua to a deal that would be worth $500 million when it's converted to British pounds and US dollars. Whoa. Do you think they would invest a guy that much just to kind of throw him in the cage and have him get murdered, or do you think they want to build their boxing promotion around him?
Maybe a little bit of both. Yeah, I was gonna say it's all about matchups. You put maybe Alistair Overeem versus this guy, or Alistair Overeem might have a little bit of wrestling. Arlovsky might be another potential guy, or not Miocic, Skyscraper.
But no, but
you trying to kill Skyscraper.
But I do agree the other way around. If they make a boxing promotion and they put also Overeem versus him in just straight up boxing, that works because Overeem has pretty much nothing to lose, and he has all to gain. So, and I think that works better because if you do it the other way around, it's just too much of a downside than an upside.
Yeah, and Joshua is 20-0 in his boxing career, just because FYI if you guys were noticing. So we'll see what happens if the UFC is going to start with their boxing promotion or try and get one of the boxing's biggest stars to come in and enter the octagon. That's it for round number 4. We got one more round coming up. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. 5th and final round. It has been reported that Cub Swanson will take on Frankie Edgar in a rematch to headline the UFC Atlantic City card. It's a fight night card. I think it's going to happen on, where's it? I forgot the date here. April 21st, UFC Fight Night. When I saw this, I was kind of shocked, I guess, because both these guys are coming off losses to Brian Ortega, who Guillermo's not a fan of. And I guess my thing here, is this a step up for either guy? Like, is this kind of like a big fight for either? Is this an important fight in the featherweight division, or is just another fight night filler?
No, I don't think it's a fight night filler. I think this is the end of somebody's career. I think.
Oh God!
If you think about crazy. It, I mean, Frankie Edgar and Cub Swanson has faced everybody in this weight class, and if you take another loss here, where does that really put you? I mean, you're getting towards the end of your career anyway. I think either one, they're cut, not necessarily cut. That's wrong. Either they're back all the way down to a gatekeeper status, or try to throw them to up-and-coming guys for the loser. For the winner, you're still in contention because both these guys are coming off losses against Brian Ortega, but before the Brian Ortega fights, they were on a hot streak. I just think whoever loses here, it really shoots down their momentum. It shoots down mentally. Can they still compete at a high level? I think all those question marks will be questions being asked to the fighters after the fight, whoever loses. So I think that this is like a make or break deal. I don't think it's a fight night filler because of the all the negative stuff that can come after taking a loss after this fight.
Albert, what do you think? Is this an important match in the division or a fight night filler?
I think it's
main event filler. They need a main event.
So. I will call it like a restructuring of the featherweight division.
Okay.
Just because you got two guys in their mid-30s, right? Both guys, sure, they're both came in off a loss to Brian Ortega, but they also had a good winning streak prior to that loss.
Don't hold against them then, right?
Yeah. And then you have some guys in the bottom half that might still make, I mean, even though Josh Emmett lost, he's still a name, I guess. And then you have the whole Jose Aldo, maybe Jeremy Stevens coming about. And I honestly think they're just, I think this is restructuring it. I'm pretty sure the winner is just lining themselves up to face the loser out of Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway. Not the winner, the loser, and then seeing where you know what I mean? It's almost like a restructuring to me.
Yeah.
But for sure, whoever loses this fight is now officially the gatekeeper of the featherweight division, and that's 100%.
I disagree with they're going to fight the loser of Brian Ortega versus Max Holloway because especially if Brian Ortega loses, both these guys already lost to Brian Ortega. What does Brian Ortega win?
But that's why. How can you put them against Max Holloway when they can't even pass Brian Ortega? They would have to run it back.
But again, you said the loser, so I'm saying if Max Holloway loses, then that makes sense. If Brian Ortega loses, it makes no sense for Brian Ortega. Because I already beat you guys. What do you have to? How can you? You
earn that rematch.
No, I think if Brian Ortega loses, he has to face either the loser out of Jose Aldo versus Jeremy Stevens, just because it's a new matchup for him, and it propels him all the way back up to the title again.
Yeah, this is division, man. Where it's kind of rough. You trying to find fresh matchups for these guys. You know, in the 2 through 10.
And where is Yari Rodriguez, man? He's
still recovering from Brian from the beating he got from Frankie Edgar. Damn you, Sean Shelby, for making that match. So you got, obviously, because we got 2 through 10. You got guys like, obviously, you know, Jeremy Stevens, Josh Emmett, we kind of see who he is now. Ricardo Lamas, and then we got Darren Elkins and Yari Rodriguez kind of around the top 10. It's not many fresh matchups out there, so it's kind of like, what are you gonna do? So that when I saw Frankie Edgar versus Swanson 2 announced, I was like, I wasn't really excited about it. I was more like scratching my head, like, what is the purpose of this fight other than having a main event for a fight night card? But I mean, when you guys say it that way, I mean, the winner will get back in the title shot. I guess you can't really blame both these guys for losing Brian Ortega, because who hasn't lost to him nowadays, anyways. So I mean, maybe they're hoping for Brian Ortega to win the title, and then you obviously have the fresh matchup with the Max Holloway again. And who knows? Maybe Jose Aldo has a rebirth against Jeremy Stevens, and then that's another fresh matchup, I guess. See, I don't know, because Jose Aldo beat both of them.
Yeah, so but I honestly think the winner out of the Jose Aldo Jeremy Stevens ones is for the title, not. While this one, there's no title implications, I think, at all.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'd say for this week's show, it's too much of a head scratcher for me to kind of finish off here. Make sure to keep up to date with 5RoundMMA by following us on Twitter and Instagram at 5RoundMMA. It's FIVE Round MMA. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and Podomatic, and visit 5RoundMMA.com. Yeah, I guess we're still on Facebook, even though, what was it, Russia kind of did this?
Those damn Russians.
They hacked in everything.
Yeah, they got our info. They know what we like. What we don't like.
Man.
What I kind of like. What I potentially might like.
What I am potentially interested in going to around my area, right? What do you got?
Know. I just want to say the NBA season's wrapping up. I think the Lakers showed exactly what they needed to show, that we are the capital of the future of the NBA. We are the #1 team in Los Angeles, despite what them Clipper haters say. You guys are only one position above us and supposedly have better players than us. That's embarrassing. I can't wait for the baseball season to start. I already bought my Dodger ticket. It's either all the way or bust for me with the Dodgers this year. I can't believe I get to see Matt Kemp again in the white and blue, and that's pretty much it.
Guillermo, you want to rebuttal that? I don't know. It's like Clipper and Angel fan here, Guillermo.
I was going to say, the only thing I need to say is, what's his name? Lonzo Ball can't shoot. As long as he can't fix that, the Lakers won't contend. Ooh, yeah. In the crowd.
Thanks for tuning